A policewoman did a DNA test and was amazed when she received the results. A California woman was taken aback after some detectives called to inform her, and claimed they had matched her DNA test to a 1986 cold case assassination. Her life was never going to be the same again after that incident. Jacqueline Varduro of Palm Springs found herself living in her own Dateline episode. After San Diego cold case homicide detectives gave her a call to inform her that her DNA might match that of a woman who was assassinated in 1986. Varduro provided an explanation, that she could potentially match the woman who was fatally shot and disposed of on a remote road in rural San Diego, but was nothing to do with her. Despite initially suspecting a possible scam, Varduro realized the legitimacy of the detectives after verifying their credentials and getting in touch with the evidence department. Detectives established a connection between Varduro and the case through her distant cousin, whose DNA was already in the GED-match system. Varduro had to upload her genetic test results for health reasons into the system to facilitate potential matches. Investigators discovered that Varduro was an extremely close match, as she shared both Italian and Mexican heritage with ties to Jalisco, Mexico, where the victim was located. Nathan Freed Westler, an attorney specializing in technology and privacy at the American Civil Liberties Union, emphasized the vulnerability of individuals to having their DNA covertly tested and examined by police without proper oversight. Similarly, in a case reminiscent of the aforementioned instances, the upcoming trial of a man from Orlando, Florida, accused of a 2001 assassination aiming to persuade judges to require police to obtain a warrant before collecting DNA evidence. An attorney from the Electronic Frontier Foundation emphasized the need to safeguard genetic privacy, given the depth of personal information that DNA reveals. The Minnehaha County State's attorney presented these points in response to Banto's motion to exclude the DNA evidence against her. Duffy Stone, president of the National District Attorneys Association and a prosecutor in South Carolina, noted that police are legally allowed to search through discarded items or collect abandoned objects, regardless of whether these items are used to extract DNA. Stone expressed skepticism about extending the expectation of privacy to shed DNA cells, considering it impractical for law enforcement's regular operations. Elizabeth Joe, a professor at the University of California Davis School of Law specializing in felon procedure and police surveillance, stressed the necessity for courts or lawmakers to establish rules as covert DNA collection becomes more accessible and affordable. Joe pointed out the lack of regulations or guidelines for law enforcement in this area, aside from internal protocols. During a hearing in Minnehaha County, Banto's defense team argued the DNA collection issue before Second Circuit Court Judge Susan Sabers, who announced her decision would be made by Tuesday. Banto's trial is set to commence on April 20, potentially concluding a decades-long mystery that has haunted Sioux Falls. The infant's passing occurred before DNA emerged as a crime-solving tool. The community arranged a funeral and burial for the baby, naming him Andrew, which was engraved on his gravestone in 2009. A detective, aiming to use innovative DNA analysis techniques to uncover new leads, arranged for the baby's body to be exhumed, as detailed in court documents. However, the baby's DNA profile lacked close matches in the state's crime database. Investigators constructed a family tree that pointed them towards Banto, according to court documents. Banto's arrest brought a sense of closure to Sioux Falls. Lee Litz, the man who discovered the abandoned baby, expressed relief at Banto's apprehension, seeing it as justice for a community unwilling to forget the baby's tragic fate. These concerns encompass various issues, including human errors and biases leading to the misidentification of innocent individuals, privacy rights, and the exacerbation of colored disparities. In 2011, researchers Zitiel Draw and Greg Hempishan found significant variability in DNA interpretation among lab technicians and forensic experts, highlighting potential inaccuracies. As the covered collection of DNA becomes more accessible and economical, there's a growing need for clearer regulations and guidelines from courts or lawmakers to govern this practice, rather than solely relying on internal law enforcement protocols. Ultimately, Banto's defense team and Minnehaha County prosecutors presented arguments regarding DNA collection in court. Banto's trial is scheduled to commence on April 20, potentially concluding a long-standing mystery in Sioux Falls.
Subscribe for more content like this. And don't forget to hit the bell button so you can be updated right away for new uploads.